Hello, everyone. Happy April. I hope you're all having a wonderful start to the month. Today, I am doing a twin flame reading for the Twin Flame Collective. Today's reading will not be divided into groups, although if you would prefer to watch a pick-a-card reading, I did upload a twin flame pick-a-card reading yesterday. The reason I am doing this particular reading as a collective style reading is because I felt a lot of general messages coming through this morning specifically, and even overnight. I had this really intense dream that I feel was really symbolic about some kind of breakthrough happening in the collective. I do feel like this is a pivotal moment. I felt a bit of a shift that I described a few weeks ago, but today, specifically within the last 24 hours, I have felt a second shift, and this time a more profound energetic shift. The dream I had last night, I was going to wait to tell you, but I'll just go ahead and tell you now because I absolutely don't want to forget to share this. So in this dream, there were two twin flames, and I couldn't see their faces, but I felt this really intense, powerful love flowing back and forth. Like you could feel the connection in your bones to the core of your soul. And there were two hands. It was kind of an oddly simplistic and yet very, very vivid dream, and really, really emotional dream. And their hands were near each other on this table. I don't know if they were in a group setting or something like that. And I feel like one twin flame was holding their phone or trying to show something to the other. There was some reason that their hands were close, and their hands touched a few times, and it was like this course of electricity, like an electric current. The emotions were so intense, even in these smallest touches of their hands. And then all of a sudden, something just like broke over. It's like they were both kind of resisting holding each other's hand for some reason. There was some kind of block there, some kind of reason that they shouldn't be holding hands. But then something just broke over and they just grabbed onto each other's hands. And in that moment, there was this huge, like, energetic whirlwind that started just moving around them. Again, it's like I couldn't see their faces. I could just feel the energy, the warmth, the love, the intensity of it. And I feel like this dream is symbolic. Just like their hands were kind of touching and then not touching, they're both kind of resisting in some way. I feel like many of you collectively may be feeling some of these touch and go kind of energies with your person. You might be feeling as though you're kind of dancing around, truly manifesting a physical 3D stable connection, illustrated in those hands grabbing onto each other. You may even be wondering to yourself if there is anything to hold on to here, if you can hold on to this person in a metaphorical kind of interpretation of this dream. But the interesting thing is, I started to do this reading and I felt myself really drawn to a Howlite stone that I had in one of my drawers as I was getting these different energy card decks. And I didn't understand or really know the meaning of this stone, so I looked it up. And interestingly enough, one of this stone's purposes is to aid with insomnia, believe it or not. So the fact I had this intense twin flame collective dream last night, and then I was drawn to this Howlite stone to aid insomnia, this really leads me to believe that there's a lot of sleeplessness in the collective or really powerful dream experiences. So do let me know in the comments below if you've either had some kind of interesting or intense twin flame dream lately, or if you've had feelings of sleeplessness or insomnia, because I feel that some of those themes are going to reemerge later on in this reading. So as always, I am beginning with the Energy Oracle Cards deck. This is my standard deck that I like to start with for every reading. And I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle these cards because I haven't yet, which by the way, I flipped over this deck of cards, and at the bottom of the deck, the first card I saw was the 7th chakra card, the crown chakra, connecting us to the divine forces within us and outside of us. The divine forces guiding our lives, protecting us, revealing to us. And I feel like that is speaking to the way in which some of you are going to be reconnected with your own intuition through this reading. Perhaps while I'm reading, you'll even receive some kind of divine insight that isn't in the words I'm saying, but just a result of you opening yourself up energetically to receiving some kind of message or inspiration that you need to hear right now. So whatever those intentions are that you do have for this reading, if I can speak, I'm still feeling, by the way, those energies of miscommunication and crossed wires I've talked about a lot around the time of the full moon and since the full moon. So if you've been feeling tongue-tied a little bit lately, either just generally in your life or with your person, know that you're not alone in that. Okay, so as I was saying, you can go ahead and set your own intentions for this reading if you feel guided to do so. If not, that's okay too. Just use your own intuition as a guide here, and I am going to set my own intentions aloud. So Spirit, please bring forth clear messages today for the Twin Flame Collective. What do twin flames listening to this reading need to hear at this time about their person, about their connection? Okay, so I have 4 cards right now. I'm actually kind of feeling like that would be a good place to begin this reading. So let's just start there. So the first card, Door to Personal Healing and Happiness in reverse. Throughout many of my readings recently, there has been a card with an illustration of a doorway or a gate. In this case, door to personal healing and happiness. But in previous readings, the garden and the gate card has also come up first, also in the reverse position. And I feel like the reason this kind of imagery keeps coming up is because there has been in the collective, and for many of us continues to be, this feeling of closeness but stuckness, meaning we feel like we're really close to some kind of breakthrough, something opening up, and yet we can't seem to fully walk through that door, or it may even feel as though doors are opening and closing again. I also want to point out that this card has a rainbow on it, which is significant because the rainbow has come up often on a different card, the Happy Family card in this deck. And this has also come up a lot in previous readings, especially in this last week. So I feel like what this has been symbolizing to us is, again, that it may feel as though doors are opening but then closing again. You might feel even as though your person is like this door that is opening up to you and then closing off again. Whatever the case may be in your situation, remember this is a general collective reading, so it'll be different from person to person. And just take whatever resonates. But I do feel that many of us feel as though we're so close and yet so far away. Just like in the imagery on this card, you can look through this open door and see this rainbow, see this sign. I feel like many of us are receiving a lot of powerful signs of movement within our twin flame connection. And yet it doesn't feel like we can fully access whatever manifested physical union we're trying to create with this person. And again, this will vary depending on where you are along your individual path. But I am just also feeling guided to read a few messages from the guidebook on this, because I'm feeling like there's something in here for us as well. You may be feeling stuck where your personal intentions are concerned. Self-mastery and discipline may be hard to achieve right now. So instantly I heard distractions while I was reading. I feel as though over-analyzing your connection or thoughts of whether or not something is going to happen within this connection is causing a lot of distraction, not just in regards to love and relationships, but even in your daily life. This may be even tying into that Howlite stone that I felt drawn to prior to this reading, and why many of you may be feeling these feelings of sleeplessness, even to the point of insomnia, or if not sleeplessness, at the very least being distracted, either at night or throughout the day, by thoughts of over-analyzing this situation, either a specific situation with your person, or just generally wondering, are they going to make me some offer of a more stable connection? Or what is this person thinking or feeling? I do feel like, by the way, a lot of these anxieties you may be feeling, and again, this might not be for everyone, but I just keep feeling that a lot of these are connected directly to whether or not this person reciprocates. So meaning, I feel that a lot of anxiety is coming up as to whether or not your person feels or thinks the same way about you as you think or feel about them. I just saw an image of someone holding out this beautiful gift, symbolizing their heart, holding out their heart to someone. And they just have their arms all the way outstretched and their eyes closed because they're scared to even be offering their most prized possession, which in this case is your heart. And yet they want this person to have it, but at the same time, there's all this fear in holding out their heart. And the fear is because they aren't sure whether this person is going to care for it and reflect the feelings that they have for them. Wow, that was just a really intense image. I hope that reaches whoever needed to hear it. I do just want to quickly roll some letter initial dice. I like to do this sometimes as I go along because in these collective readings, different messages tend to connect to different people, and you probably won't resonate with everything. But if this is you that I'm speaking to right now, I just want to know the first, middle, or last initials of your name or your person's name, or even some kind of word that could connect to you or your situation. G, K, U, L, D, B, W, K, J, W again, so this person may have double letters in their name, or you might have double letters in your name. Q, interesting. Q also came up twice, so double letters energy is really strong here. J, U again, V, X, T, U again. A lot of U's are coming up in these letters. And I'm also going to pull some potential signs. These could be the sun, moon, or rising sign of you or your person. Or again, these specific messages could just be meant for someone else. Sagittarius, Aries, Pisces, and Leo. Interesting. Sagittarius, Pisces, Aries, Leo, sun, moon, or rising. Anyone with those signs in your chart or in your person's chart, have you been feeling these feelings of sleeplessness, insomnia, or over-analyzing? Let me know in the comments if that does connect with you, because I feel that was one of those specific messages meant for just one person or maybe a few people. The second card, oh my gosh, guys, did I not just talk about the garden and the gate card? This came up again, the garden and the gate in reversed. So now we have two doors. I feel that the message here is really just emphasizing the intensity of this feeling of being locked out in some way from the full manifestation of a physical reunion, whatever that means for you, whatever you desire within this connection. There's this feeling of stuckness about it, this feeling that you're locked out of it, this frustration as you wonder whether it's coming. And I do feel like there is this vacillating between seeing these signs, because in both cases you can see something really beautiful just beyond the doors, but I almost feel as though many of you are thinking, I can see the signs, I can see the beauty and the depth of this connection, I can see what is possible for us, and yet I'm not sure how I can walk through that door. I do feel like there is a step forward within your connection that you are desiring, or your person is desiring, and yet someone feels really locked out of this situation. It feels impossible to take this step forward, and I want to know more information. I'm kind of nosy about this energy because I'm really curious about why this step forward can't be taken. So I'm going to get some clarification cards, also from the Energy Oracle cards deck. So Spirit, why is it that someone can't take this step forward? The cards are feeling a little bit energetically stuck today. Makes me think that someone does not want to talk about this. I feel like there might be either you or your person who is feeling a lot more than they're saying. I feel like they're kind of secretive about you. Interesting. So the first card is all tied up in the reverse position, and the second card is action in the upright position. I feel like with these two cards, someone's person is saying, I do really strongly desire to take action, but I feel tied up in taking this action. It doesn't feel possible for me to be able to take this action. But I'm still not hearing the why. And again, I feel like someone's person is perhaps kind of like the silent type, maybe someone who feels a lot more than they say in words, which causes there to be this confusion in your connection because you're on the other side of this wondering, how are they really feeling? What are they really thinking? And this person is thinking that they really want to take some kind of step forward, that step forward through this gate, through this doorway in these previous illustrations in your connection. And yet there's something tying them up. And I was looking for clarification on that, but we're still not receiving a lot of information on why, like what's the why in this situation. So I'm thinking maybe Spirit is saying that's going to be revealed later on as we just continue unfolding this reading. So let's just keep going here. The next card is Door to Spirit. I just heard your intuition knows the answer. This card really connects to opening up our own intuition, our intuitive gifts and abilities. I feel like many of you, either through dreams or through signs, have received some kind of message about your person, about some movement happening in your connection. And if this is you, I feel like you're being told that you can trust whatever you've been receiving, or that your intuition is correct. And I also specifically heard that your intuition is correct and your ego is lying, which of course is oftentimes true because the ego likes to make up all kinds of stories about why we aren't worthy of love, why this person doesn't truly love us, or why this connection is delusional, whatever the case may be. But I feel like specifically when it comes to this step forward, it's like, I feel like some of you really desire to walk through this door, to take some kind of forward movement with your person, but you know that they are tied up in taking whatever kind of action is required to move this forward. And yet your intuition is saying to you, again, this could be through dream signs because dreams have kind of been a theme through this reading, or this could be simply through feeling this person's energy, through some kind of sign that you're experiencing. There's something telling you how this person feels about you that is very intuitive. And yet your ego at the same time is lying to you, is saying, no, you can't trust that. You can't trust your intuition. You can't trust what you're feeling because you're not really seeing that forward action. And I feel that if this is connecting with you, you're being told to lean into your intuition in order to quiet your ego mind. Which, by the way, meditation is the best tool for truly quieting the ego mind and opening up the intuition. And specifically, I personally like to meditate with subliminals, which I talk about a lot on this channel. I meant to mention this at the beginning, but as I always say in these readings, I like to recommend specific subliminals I have created throughout these readings, and the purpose of this is to provide energetic shifting tools, because through these readings I'm really reading into energy, I'm sharing energy as it is in the moment. However, we also have the power to shift the energy of a situation, and we do this by shifting our own subconscious thoughts. And subliminals are a really powerful way to reprogram the unconscious mind, shift our energy, and through doing this, manifest much faster change into our lives and even within our twin flame connection. So all subliminals I do recommend come from my membership site, Sound and Soulful, where I have over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. So specifically right now, at this point in the reading, I said all of that because I thought to recommend my 7 chakra twin flame clearing subliminal to those of you who aren't yet meditating with this, because this subliminal specifically is designed to uproot and clear out any energy blocks within the 7 chakras, specifically those that are related to blocking full twin flame connection. So more information on that 7 chakra twin flame subliminal will be in the description box under this video. And when you sign up for a 7-day free trial account on my website, you can access that subliminal or any that I've created free for 7 days just to try them out. So the next card, wow guys, this gave me chills. I just mentioned at the beginning of this reading the 7th chakra card, the crown chakra, and that actually just came up in this reading. That is our 4th card. So it's really interesting because here in these cards, I see a contrast. The first 2 cards are gate and door cards in reversed. Door to personal healing and happiness, and the garden and the gate both in the reverse position. Whereas the second 2 cards are both connected to the divine, connected to intuition. And these are both in the upright position, door to spirit and the 7th chakra. So this is such a clear, even kind of contrast here, which I just saw scales in my mind, like a balance. And actually the Angel of Balance card is one card that caught my attention earlier. I feel like there is this balancing act happening within many of our connections. On one side, you have our physical manifested reality. In this case, this door, this metaphoric door that seems to be opening, and yet we don't seem to be able to walk through it for some reason. In the clarification cards, we saw that could be because your person seems to be miscommunicating or not communicating fully, and because of whatever way they're tied up in their own thoughts or mind, or however they perceive the reality of your connection, they aren't taking the action that they strongly desire to take, which of course is leading you, the other counterpart, to question whether they even want to take that action, what they are truly thinking or feeling. So this door is opening. We can see the beauty, the depth of this connection, the signs happening all around us, and yet the ego is saying you can't trust it because you're not there yet. You're seeing it, but you're not touching it. You're not fully accessing it. You're not walking through that door. But then on the other side, we have our intuition, the other side of this scale and this balancing act. And our intuition is speaking so strongly to us, so strongly guiding us along this path. And I feel like you're really clearly being asked here to allow yourself to be open to your intuition and to relax into the intuitive knowing you have about this person and about this connection, even though on the other side of this scale, the ego is trying to weigh you down, trying to counterbalance what you're feeling intuitively. So I do just want to get some angel answers clarification cards, because I feel there is so much more, specifically like some kind of specific message that I'm feeling for many of you out there listening. So I'm hoping to channel some of those now in this reading. Okay, so I said I was pulling from the Ask Angels deck, but then the Romance Angels deck really caught my eye. And since this is a love connection reading, I do feel like this is a good place to start with our clarification. So Spirit, what does the Twin Flame Collective need to know at this time, specifically in regards to this balancing act happening between the ego and the intuition? Okay, so I have 2 cards for you guys and 3 cards. So let's see what we've got here. Deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. Don't worry, by the way, because I know many of you immediately, your ego interpreted deception as someone was outright lying to you, but this isn't necessarily the case. In fact, what I instantly heard with this card is the deception is actually connected to the way in which someone is not fully communicating because their ego is that mask. Their ego self, their false self, the person they are presenting to the world. The ego self that they're afraid to fully release and let go is the false mask, is the deception. And this directly connects to the all tied up in reverse card. This miscommunication is happening because someone in this connection is still not fully releasing their ego, still living from this kind of ego-based space, which is causing them to not step forward and take the action that their soul is pulling or pushing them to take. There's this fear in letting the guard down and releasing this mask for some reason. The second card, this is interesting, flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. And again, I feel with many of these cards, there's kind of an element of illusion happening here, because I feel that as I read these cards, there's the ego that steps up and interprets it a certain way. Like with the deception card, the ego, I could hear many of your egos wanting to step in and say, is this person lying to me? Is there someone else that they love more than me? Are they choosing something or someone else over me? And this isn't the case, though. That's the ego's fear speaking. And truly, the deception card was actually connected to the ways in which this person is deceiving themselves through the ego, not fully communicating lovingly, openly, honestly, because of being afraid to release the mask of the ego. And the flirt card also has this element of illusion to it, because when I read that card, I heard the collective ego kind of surfacing and saying, oh, is this saying I should move on and just forget about this person? But this isn't what this card, I feel, is really speaking to. I feel like this card is saying to reconnect with your lightheartedness, with your inner child, with your free-spiritedness in order to deepen this connection. Because I feel like there's a lot of over-analysis happening, a lot of anxiety taking hold within the connection on one side of this divine union. This counterpart situation. On one side, I feel like there's a lot of over-analysis, sleepless nights, restlessness, and there's this kind of seriousness. I just saw someone's face like in a very serious expression, and I feel like you're being told to relax, specifically like with the cards before, relax into your intuition, relax into your knowing. There's no need to over-analyze this situation, to overthink it. It is safe to be light about this situation, and specifically to connect with your own free-spirited, light-hearted self. I'm specifically hearing a wounded feminine coming through here, someone who is trying to control this situation, who is over-analyzing, and in doing this, they are blocking the flow of their divine feminine energy, which is actually pushing away their counterpart. So if this is you, you may also be interested in exploring my subliminal to heal the divine feminine. This is called the Awakened Divine Feminine. And this subliminal is specifically designed to clear out any divine feminine energy blocks or divine feminine wounding in order to allow you to magnetize your energy for effortless manifestation, both within this connection specifically and in attracting holistic abundance in all areas of your life. So I will leave a link to the Divine Feminine Subliminal in the description box under this video. But if that doesn't apply to you, or if you're Divine Masculine, I'm hearing this is just about connecting again to your inner child, to being lighter, to being more free-spirited about this connection and about your life. And the third card is Honeymoon, which is interesting because this card actually came up in a previous reading. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. And what I clearly heard with this card is that this connects to the flirt card. Enjoy the moment. Be light about this situation. Find joy within the moment within this connection in any way you can, because when you're over-analyzing from a space of ego, cutting yourself off, if you are that wounded feminine, from the divine flow of your own power to effortlessly attract to you. The ego likes to think that it can think about things or analyze things so much that it can come up with some kind of perfect, ideal solution. And I feel that many of us are doing that collectively right now, trying to over-plan within this connection, to come up with some perfect method or action plan or something we can do to make this connection work, to make it work, to force it to work. But you're being told to release because intuitively you understand the depth of this connection and that it is unfolding perfectly. But the key to allowing the continuation of that unfolding is to release the ego's need to control and reconnect with your own lighthearted, free-spirited nature. That is what makes you incredibly magnetic for attracting greater manifested physical 3D shows of love and offers of stability with this person. That feels like a really good closure, kind of full circle point for these initial general messages. But just because there's so much coming through, I am kind of feeling the need to clarify a bit for the collective, because I feel some of you wanting more, some of you feeling kind of unsatisfied with those general messages and wanting a little bit more specificity. So I'm actually going to reshuffle the energy oracle cards and set some more specific intentions now that we know what's going on with this energy. And wow, before even setting those intentions, one card really jumped out. So Spirit, what can the Twin Flame Collective know about how this connection is unfolding, how to move forward within this connection, or any other messages specifically that need to come through at this time? Okay, I have 2 cards here. Let's see how many cards want to come out. 3 cards. And one card that just completely jumped out of the deck. Okay, so the first clarification card here is adjacent possibilities. I just instantly heard very soon when I heard this card. And I also heard breakthrough. I feel like this is reconnecting, kind of clarifying the intuition that you're feeling that we talked about earlier, but specifically delivering the message that there's going to be some kind of opening up, some kind of breakthrough coming very soon. I feel like there might be a little bit of clarification on this adjacent possibility. So I just grabbed my Ask Angels deck or Angel Answers deck, because I do feel like there might be some specific cards. Sometimes in this deck there's like cards that contain time frames. So let's just see. So Spirit, when is this adjacent possibility coming, or how is it coming? What else does the Twin Flame Collective need to know about this adjacent possibility? Okay, so the first card I pulled is Be Assertive. And the interesting thing about this card is that there is a woman who appears to be holding like a mask, who seems to be kind of pulling off the mask. I don't know if this is what this is actually depicting, but this is kind of what my intuition saw with this card. So this is interesting because earlier the card Deception came up and there was a mask. So I do feel like what this is saying is not necessarily to be assertive and taking some kind of radical action, but to stand in your own power and to bravely release the mask of the ego in order to open yourself to whatever coming breakthrough or possibility is happening within this connection. And of course, the next card is Remain Positive, which I feel connects with the honeymoon card earlier. enjoying what you have with this person, whatever it is. Even if you're in a period of separation, finding the positives to focus on whenever you're thinking about this person or this connection. Having the discipline to keep your thoughts positive as often as you can, because this opens you to, it opens up the energetic communication between you and this person. Because when there's negative energies of some kind or energy blocks, this will actually prevent the person that you're thinking of, in this case your twin flame, from coming forward, because they subconsciously, energetically can feel this negative energy, this disconnect, this block, which, by the way, if you are having some kind of closed off communication right now with your twin flame, I will also leave a link to my subliminal to open twin flame communication. This is really powerful because it focuses on clearing both heart chakra blocks and throat chakra blocks, which both are connected to manifesting communication with our twin flame. So again, that will be linked in the description box. And the third card is, it's up to you. So what I heard is many of you are looking to, or someone is looking to their person, their counterpart, and saying, if only they would take action, this would move forward. If only they would say this or do this. But what you're actually being told, and I know this is a difficult thing to grasp and to understand, because through society, we're really programmed away from this. We're programmed to look at our relationships and kind of analyze the other person's behavior, their thoughts, or their words and their actions, what they're saying, what they're doing, to analyze their behavior and then measure it and basically say, this person is a good partner, boyfriend, husband, wife, girlfriend, whatever it is, or they are not. We like to label based on behavior, and we really like to fixate on what the other person is doing or saying. But really, everything that is happening within our relationships is attraction-based. Everything in the universe is attraction-based, because the law of attraction is the dominant law governing our universe. So what I'm hearing with this card is a reminder that, especially within a twin flame connection, everything is mirrored back to you. So if you see a kind of behavior, lack of communication, something happening with your twin flame, the way to shift this dynamic, ironically, is actually to turn within, to shift your own energy and thoughts. And in this case, I feel that the way you make the shift is through focusing on the positives, through enjoying the moment, through connecting to your free-spirited, light-hearted self. Like I said earlier, for the divine feminines listening, this may specifically be healing your divine feminine wounds, reconnecting with your own natural, effortless power to manifest through attraction, not through force, and through stepping into this kind of powerful yet effortless energy. I feel this is how you actually shift the balance and open yourself up to this offer of greater stability within this connection. So let's now move on to the second energy oracle card that I pulled for clarification. This is the Thinking Woman in reverse, and I immediately heard that this was a reconfirmation of the importance of releasing the ego self, releasing the ego, releasing the over-analyzing mind right now in order to open yourself to this future possibility or offer that is coming, this breakthrough that is coming. And the third card is community. So I instantly heard again with this card, enjoy the moment. There's kind of, I feel Spirit really reiterating a lot of previous messages because there's such an emphasis on opening, on releasing your ego, releasing the mask, being fearless and brave enough to authentically radiate a true expression of your soul, who you truly are, while releasing the ego thoughts and the ego self and the ego's need to overanalyze. And specifically with the community card, I'm hearing to focus on what you do have in terms of connections and other people, meaning love in all forms, love even in its platonic form. I'm hearing that if you have certain friends that you've been feeling a desire to reconnect with or reach out to, this might be the time to do that. And I feel that some of you haven't been fully opening yourself up to the community available to you because you've been thinking that this will distract you or somehow close you off to an opportunity with your twin flame, but I'm hearing that actually it's the other way around, that if you open yourself up to receiving more love and support from the people around you, I even saw earlier the ask for help from others card came up. And I feel like all of those messages are just tied to allowing yourself to enjoy the support, even platonic support, family support, community support, whatever you have around you, or reaching out to create more support or to enjoy time with other people. I'm hearing that actually by doing this, somehow you are going to open yourself to this breakthrough, to this coming offer of stability, that just kind of building and enjoying this community is really an important part right now of keeping yourself in this light, free-spirited space and leaving yourself open to whatever movement is happening within this divine connection. The last card is appreciation in the reverse position. So I heard a few different messages coming through here. One is just kind of reading into the energy of the collective, this feeling of because things aren't moving forward fast enough, because we're seeing that door opening but feeling stuck and walking through it for whatever reason. This over-analyzing the situation is causing many in the collective not to appreciate the moment. And I just saw this card like turning around and then it changing everything, like by moving into a space of gratitude, a space of appreciation for the moment, for things as they are, practicing the art of non-resistance. Appreciating things as they are is actually what moves you to manifesting something greater. But I also heard as a second message that if that doesn't apply for some of you, some may be feeling, or their counterpart may be feeling unappreciated right now. So I feel this is targeted specifically at those of you who are in more of an active 3D connection with your twin flame. So this won't be for everyone, but for those of you who are either in some kind of union or relationship, more of an active connection, I feel that someone is in their ego feeling unappreciated. They're feeling, and I just heard also undervalued. I feel like someone is just like looking at their counterpart thinking, you are so wonderful and powerful and just this radiant being, and I have no idea what I bring to the table in this connection. I feel like I want to make an offer to you, but I also feel empty-handed because you seem so powerful and you don't seem, I feel like someone feels unneeded, like they feel like the other person doesn't need them or they can't make any offer to that person that would be of value to them. Really interesting. I know this won't be everyone, but for those of you this applies to, I'm going to roll some letter initial dice. So first, middle, or last name of you or this person, if this connects, could be F, Z, there are 2 Z's, so could be double letters in their name, C, T, A, S, S again, double letters again, C again, K again, O, W. I just heard worry, so I feel like this person worries about the fact that they feel like they are undervalued, underappreciated, or can't bring you an offer that would really be worth anything to you. Really interesting. So I'm also going to pull some potential sign cards for this person. Could be sun, moon, or rising sign. Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo, Pisces, and Libra. Interesting. Okay, so again, I know that message specifically won't apply to everyone, but I did feel that whoever that is connecting with really needed to hear that, needed to know that their counterpart or someone in this connection is feeling undervalued, is feeling underappreciated. And this actually, for you, whoever this connects with, this may be the reason in your situation that this person isn't stepping forward or things aren't moving forward in the way that you may desire them to shift or move forward. So now I am just going to pull a few cards from some of my other decks just to see if there are any other messages we can pull through for the Twin Flame Collective right now. Okay, so the first deck I felt pulled to is the Soul's Journey deck. So Spirit, what other messages does the Twin Flame Collective or anyone listening to this video need to hear right now? Interesting. This so connects. Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So that very clearly, we just heard this over and over again in today's reading, to reconnect with your lightheartedness, to enjoy the moment, to be lighter about this situation, because I have felt a lot of heaviness, specifically a lot of heavy thought energy, over-analyzing kind of happening. So you're really being asked to release that, to be light about this situation right now. What other messages does the Twin Flame Collective need to hear right now? Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. So I feel like this is circling back to the idea that it's up to you with that earlier card. I feel like for some of us right now, there's a tendency to focus on the other person and to say, if this person was moving or changing or taking this kind of action or acting in this way, then our connection would be different. But you're being reminded that your twin flame is your mirror, which means they are always reflecting to you what is going on within you energetically. There's always some energetic root that we both share to explain why certain things are manifesting or not manifesting in the physical, in the 3D. I feel like there might be one more card for us here. Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Wow, we're just getting all of the previous messages really getting reconfirmed here, because this connects obviously with the community card, what I was talking about. For some reason, I'm feeling like some of you have actually received intuition, like a subtle intuition to reach out to an old friend or an old group of friends or someone in your life, someone that I feel you may have shared a really close connection with or a happy connection with, but that you disconnected from maybe very naturally. And I feel like, okay, this is so specific. I feel like this might just be literally for one person, but I feel like some of you have been hesitant to reach out to this platonic friend from your past or this group of friends because you feel like you've grown or changed or gotten so much older. Things have just shifted so much in your life that you're afraid that you won't be able to fully reconnect with these people or this person from your past, but you're being told that actually the reason you keep thinking about reaching out is because you're receiving some kind of divine intuition that reconnecting with this person or these people will actually help you to bring more joy, more humor into your life, which will literally do energy work upon you, which will shift your energy, allow you to remain in a happier, more lighthearted space that opens you up more to future breakthroughs and possibilities within this twin flame divine counterpart connection. I just heard this is kind of a back door to manifestation, like a side path, because I feel like many of you wouldn't expect connecting with an old friend or old friends, if it's a group, you wouldn't expect this to move you forward spiritually, but it actually would in a very powerful way. So this really might not be everyone, but I'm speaking to anyone who's gotten some kind of resurfacing thought or intuition or something kind of pulling them, like I should reach out to this person or these people, or I should invite these people to go do something, or I should hang out with this person. I feel like Spirit is saying, listen to that. That is your intuition trying to speak to you. Okay, so now let's pull a card or two from the Moonology deck. So Spirit, what else does the Twin Flame Collective need to know at this time? What other specific messages can we bring through? The first card is your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. The fact this is a new moon card, really, I just heard new beginnings, but a theme that's been coming up through these readings is new beginning with the same person, like hitting the reset button on a connection, like having kind of a fresh start energetically with a person that you've been very familiar with, because I know that many of you Not all of you, again. I know some of you won't resonate with this, but many of you have known your twin flame or are familiar with your twin flame. You know who they are. Maybe you've even been connected for a little while now, and you're being told that, okay, this is a message for someone specifically. Someone is worried that their past energies with this person or negativity that was perpetuated through this connection, maybe even hurt on both sides, is somehow preventing the future from manifesting with this person. But you are being told, no, you're not being held back by any past energies with this person. So that's just for someone specifically that needed to hear that. But for the rest of you connecting with this is saying that you are going to have a fresh start, a new beginning, a new moon, a new cycle. And that may even be what this breakthrough is. This breakthrough coming may be the start of a new cycle, but with the same person. And I feel like the hard work being discussed here is all of the energy work. And I feel for many of you, this is work you've been doing on yourself. Many of you have been on a spiritual awakening journey. And I feel like you're being told that. For some of you, I saw all of the books you've been reading. If you've been reading spiritual books or absorbing spiritual material through YouTube or through blogs or through books, I feel like all of your work in changing your mind, changing your thoughts, learning, growing, expanding yourself, being on this awakening journey is paying off. And that's why you can relax into your intuition about this person and this connection. That's why you can be lighter, more lighthearted, bring more humor into your life, because you've already been through, I feel like many of you have gone through a very, very, very dark night of the soul, a very difficult time. And I feel like you're being told you can trust that a breakthrough is happening, a new cycle is coming. I feel like many of you are like right on the cusp of this new cycle, being told you can now relax and enjoy the moment, enjoy the unfolding of all of this. So let's see if any more messages will come through. What else does the Twin Flame Collective need to know right now? And interesting, this card came out in a recent reading as well, but the card is nothing is set in stone, which I feel is just circling back to what I said with hard work is paying off, that I feel some of you are concerned that past energies with your person are causing something to be stuck or have permanently negatively impacted your connection with this person or your future with them. And you're being told to release that worry. If this is you, your past with this person will not define your future in a negative way. That feels very settled for that deck. So the last oracle cards I'm going to pull are from the Starry Beginnings deck. So let's see, what else does the Twin Flame Collective need to know at this time? And then after this, as I always do, I will pull some more specific potential messages and those words and phrases that may connect with you or your person in a more hyper-specific way. Okay, so I felt two cards coming out here. Let go of a fixed plan, allow for spontaneity and growth. Wow, guys, how many times has this same message resurfaced in this reading? Let go, have more fun, see the lighter side of life, bring more humor into your life. Let go of your ego's need for a plan, to over-plan, to force this connection into being. And just because this came up again, and I keep talking about the inner child, connecting with the free-spirited lightheartedness of your inner child, I will also leave my inner child healing subliminal under the subliminals section in the description box, just because I feel that many of you have a wounded inner child, and that is part of why your ego has taken the reins to protect you, because you've been hurt in some way in the past, and your ego has stepped in and said, okay, we were hurt before, so now we're going to overanalyze everything. We're going to overplan everything. I just heard someone saying, oh wow, I felt this really strong wave of emotion. I heard someone saying that someone taught you if you wanted to receive love and connection, the only way to receive was to do it yourself. This hyper-independent kind of mentality, this, if I'm not working really hard, I am not worthy of love. I can't trust the love that others give to me. If I want to do something, I have to do it myself. And because of this kind of mindset from a wounded inner child, your ego now overanalyzes, overplans everything, especially when it comes to love and romance. So learning to reconnect with that inner child, to integrate those past versions of yourself who may have been hurt or wounded, who are now then causing your ego to step out in this overprotection of the wounded inner child. I'm hearing that all of this is playing a big role in why you are not allowing things to move forward and stabilize and manifest within this connection. Believe in your power to manifest. Breathe your creation into existence. That was the second card that I pulled. Again, I'm feeling a wounded divine feminine come through. I do feel many of you listening are divine feminines. So I just see this coming up over and over again, that many of the divine feminines are wounded, not just collectively as twin flames, but as a society. And there is a lot of divine masculine wounding as well. I'm just focusing on the divine feminine because I've felt a lot of wounded feminine energy coming through this reading. But I just feel the need to reiterate again, if you are that wounded divine feminine, remember that you have the power to manifest effortlessly. Sometimes I feel when we hear or use the word manifestation, we use it with an element of force, like we're going to do all of these practices, we're going to use all of these law of attraction techniques, we're going to be very forceful about it, and we're going to force this thing to come to us. But you're being told that you have this powerful magnetic force field of energy around you that allows you to naturally manifest, to naturally draw to you everything that was intended for you. And you don't have to force any of it into being. And specifically when it comes to this love connection, you don't have to force love out of someone through your words, through your actions. You are simply worthy of love as a result of who you are. I know that someone needed to hear that. So, like I said, the last thing I'm going to do is pull some potential specific messages from your person or some cards that may connect with your situation specifically. Okay, spirits, so what other messages does the Twin Flame Collective or anyone listening to this video need to hear at this time? What if? I feel like this is the ego running through different scenarios in the mind, over-analyzing. What if I had done this differently? I feel some kind of regret attached to this, and I actually feel that for some of you, this is coming from your counterpart, that your counterpart is feeling some regret over their own lack of communication or their own inaction in the past, and they're afraid that their past mistakes are going to hold back the future of this connection. Like they're running through all of these regretful scenarios, thinking, what if I had done something differently? What if I had said something differently? And again, this is all coming back to releasing that ego's need to analyze both the past and the potential future. And the key to releasing that over-analysis is to live in the present and appreciation of everything within the present. I'm stuck in my head. Well, that one has a very literal, obvious meaning. It's everything we've been saying with the ego over-analyzing and causing this stuckness, both energetically and in manifested form, with lack of communication, lack of moving forward within this connection in some way. And the third card is, it wasn't easy. I feel like this is someone reflecting back even further than their relationship with someone, saying to their counterpart, it wasn't easy to go through the childhood experiences that I went through, the formative experiences that I went through. Those experiences marked me. And I'm afraid that because of how I was marked by those experiences, how I was wounded, and how I acted and spoke and was toward you because of that wounding in the past, I am afraid that I have ruined the future of this connection. And I'm also afraid that I am unworthy because of the ways I've been scarred by my past, unworthy to receive your love. I'm specifically hearing a lot of divine masculine energy coming through in this specific message, although it could also apply to a divine feminine as well. And the last card is you know me already. And I just heard you know my heart. I feel that this is circling back to that intuition, those two intuition cards that came up at the beginning of this reading saying you can trust your intuition because your intuition not only knows who this person is, knows the validity of this connection, but also knows this person's heart. Your intuition knows how your person truly feels about you beneath the surface of the ego, beneath the 3D physical action and words. You know that person's heart, mind, and soul beneath all appearances, and you can trust that knowing. The last thing I'm going to do is pull a few cards. These just have words or a few words on them. Face. I just heard that. I just heard someone saying that they're going to have to face something that they have known they're going to have to face, but they've been putting off facing this thing. I feel like this may come to that forward movement action that you've been waiting for. I feel like for some of you, again, because this is a collective reading, for some of you, this will be facing a decision that must be made in order to move forward. For others of you, this will be facing themselves in some way, facing their own fears and insecurities in order to move forward within this connection. Uncertain. I feel like this person is uncertain of what is going to happen when they do make this decision or face this thing. I just see someone kind of forging a path through the unknown. I feel like for some reason, for many of you, your counterpart feels like, or someone in this connection feels like moving forward is scary because there's this element of unknown about it. So I don't know if that's because there's something unconventional about your connection, because many twin flames do come together with certain differences that cause their relationship to be unconventional in some way. Differences like a difference in background, in class background, in social status, in religion, difference in where they live in the world geographically, difference in family background, or even an age gap. So I feel like there is some difference for many of you, or if not that, maybe that they've never felt what they feel for you. And so they don't know how to be or to act in this kind of love connection. There's just this feeling of newness in this uncertainty. Something feels very new to them within this connection that causes this kind of fear of moving forward, this fear of facing whatever they need to face in order to move forward. I just feel like there's a lot of unknowns that the ego wants to be able to have answers to. And the third card that I had pulled is familiar. I feel like this is going back to you know me already. That this person intuitively, and this feels on both sides, both counterparts, intuitively know one another's heart and soul. They feel very, very familiar with each other's energy. And yet, when it comes to moving forward into a future together, there are a lot of unknowns for some reason. Things that need to be faced in order to move forward. I feel like, for some reason, I just keep hearing, you're so familiar that you're stuck in my head. This kind of, I'm stuck in my head, but familiar tying together, which is kind of a weird message. But I feel like this is for someone who has met their twin flame. Again, this might just be for one person, but the person I'm channeling right now has met their twin flame, but they haven't actually had a lot of conversations. I feel like you've had conversations, but you might not be in touch right now, or you might not always be communicating. And I feel like your counterpart is saying that in spite of the fact you aren't communicating right now or haven't communicated a lot, there is something about you that is so familiar to them. It keeps them up at night. It makes them sleepless. It keeps them stuck in their head. They can't stop thinking about it. I feel like there might be one or two more messages in here. Interesting. So with that card, the card interesting, I feel like it's just tying together the message of familiarity, that regardless of how well you know each other in the physical 3D world, your person feels as though you are very, very familiar to them, as if they've known you forever, because of course they have on an energetic level. And because of this, they find you very fascinating. And that's part of why you're stuck in their head. They can't get over just how fascinating you are. I just see someone like staring at someone with like this look of just total admiration on their face. I feel like there's so much admiring energy coming from whoever I'm speaking to here. So I feel like this is a good place to close out this reading for today. If you would like to use any of the subliminal meditations I mentioned throughout this reading, all of those will be linked in the description box under this video. And all of these subliminals come from my membership site, Sound and Soulful. So when you create a 7-day free trial account on my website, you can access any subliminals I recommend completely free. Please do subscribe to me if I resonated with you, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. I hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again in the next podcast.